Okay, we're gonna go live. Whoa, it's already a comment. Air Force says, "What do you think of the Sonorae SR4 family size? Please let me know. A friend is selling it for 3,000, 6,000 originally." I'll show you in a second. I'll let you know in about a week. I've got a Sonorae downstairs. I don't know if it's the exact same one. Give me about 30 seconds to run through the intro here, and then I'll show you what I think. So, sauna's been preheated for 24 minutes. Current temp is at 121. Towels and stuff are all ready to go. We're gonna run downstairs. I'm gonna make it I'm in a better mood today. We're gonna make it a binder day. A little bit warmer in here. It's 72 today instead of 70. Makes a slight difference, but it's not huge. Once you get 5 or 10 degrees warmer, it starts making a bigger difference. The hell was I saying? I'm gonna make it a binder day today. So I haven't had binders in, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. So let me, actually for the guy that asked about the Sonorae, let me show you. There is a Sonorae, can you guys see that? There is a Sonorae stacked here. I just have to put it back together. All of the other parts are here, so I'll be able to tell you more about what I think of the Sonorae in a couple days. Instead of just, I could run through and tell you about the heaters. They're the same thing as a Therasana, which I've had before. And on one hand, I loved it. On the other hand, the build quality was absolutely terrible on the one that I got. I think they've worked that out, but. So today I'm not gonna do any electrolytes in this particular drink because I'm going to take a little bentonite clay. Let me run through. People ask about this all the time, so we might as well make it simple. So you could do activated charcoal, which is kind of like all-purpose. I would definitely suggest the capsules instead of the powder. You can see I've never opened the second container of powder. This is like eating mud. It gets stuck in your teeth. This is what I'm going to take tonight. It is the Great Plains. It's in my Amazon influencer page, but I'll put a link when this video is up for replay. This stuff is cheap. I love it. It works really good. And again, you can get bentonite clay and like all these healing clays and stuff like that. This is awful. It gets stuck in your teeth. It's gritty. It's like swallowing sand. Enterosgel, obviously one of my favorites, but I'm not going to take this today. A lot of people ask about other binders, chitazans. I've tried pretty much everything you could possibly think of. Pectrosol, psyllium husk, which is basically like taking what's that other stuff? It's more mainstream. I can't think. It's like for thickening up your poop or something like that. I wanted to say Imodium, but that's not the right thing. It's I can't think about it. It's the same like active thing. Anyway, I'm gonna do a little bit of bentonite clay capsules today. I'll probably just do 2 pre-sauna session. That's plenty. It's kind of like a light, whatchamacallit. And I'll just take those now. So 2 of these. Slam a little bit of water. Refill. It is, if that time is right, it's exactly 9 o'clock. So sauna should be preheated. We're gonna start stepping it up a little bit. So yesterday, I didn't really preheat the sauna too much. Today, we preheated it for exactly 30 minutes. Tomorrow, or the next day, I think we're gonna really step it up. Start getting into those higher zones. And I think we're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna try to make this a little quicker today. So, preheated for 27, or just switch, 28 minutes, 124, 125. We're gonna come in. I don't like small mason jars, by the way. I'm just using them because they fit in a cup holder. So there's another cup holder here in this particular sauna. Let's go with, take this off. Let me see if I can see if there's been any comments. Top chat. No one said anything besides the guy that asked about the Sonorae. Is that right? I don't know if, I don't really know There we go. All messages are visible. Okay. Maybe I'll get a little bit better at this as we go. My mount did not come today. I think we all get kind of spoiled by Prime delivery. I ordered a mount for the front of the sauna so that it can kind of support itself instead of me just balancing it on the handle. And I've got to shorten the time up a little bit. The sauna is going to be a little hotter today. The phone was overheating yesterday almost. So I would imagine we don't have too long. It is, I can't see the exact time. Hopefully it's 9 p.m. Eastern. Sauna is almost 130 degrees. It's 128. It's been preheated for exactly 30 minutes. So it should be like 8:59 to 9:03 or something like that, I hope. I went live just a little bit early. Tonight's topic of discussion is a little bit of binders. Hopefully you guys will have questions. Let me see if I can turn this on. Live chat, all message visible. Somebody say something, please. What do you think of the Sonorae? That's from earlier. Selling it for $3,000 for $6,000. It's probably a good deal, but I don't really know how big the family size is of the Sonorae. I can just tell you that the ceramic concave style heaters that are in them, they definitely work pretty well if there's plenty of them in there. They just take a long time to heat up and they're very directional. So you probably have a cold side of the sauna if there's not any frontal infrared, and then super hot if there's, but Sonorae kind of lays their heaters out in a weird fashion. Usually they stuff them in the corners, which is good because those emitters have some magnetic fields. There's some EMF in there. So what do you guys want to talk about today? This is day 2, sauna 30 for 30 challenge, or 30 for 30 sauna challenge. I'm going to start changing these a little bit as soon as I get the camera mount so I don't have to hold and do this stuff. I'm going to bring some gadgets. I'm being funny. Gadgets. I think I'm in a better mood doing this the second day. In the sauna, things that we can go over and discuss and talk about. And then I think I'm also going to step it up. We're going to do some hardcore heat on days 3, 4, and 5. I want you guys to see what it's like for me to tap out, basically, so that you can start to understand and learn where your thresholds are. Is there anybody like Josh or Lizzie that is doing live, doing your own sauna sessions while this live is going on? If so, let me know. There were some folks last night. This is only day 2, so people are probably not accustomed to this just yet, doing the 30 for 30, but I'm curious if anyone else is getting fired up. There might be a few stragglers. I can't see who you are, but some people keep popping in and out on the live stream. Throw something in the chat, anything, if you have a question, anything that you'd like to talk about, please let me know. I like interaction. It makes the operating this little YouTube live go a little bit smoother. And it's not just me sitting in here jibber jabbering like I do all day on the big camera making videos. Scott says, I'm new to the channel, deciding on getting a sauna. Thanks for your detailed work. Can you talk about why EMFs are such a concern for you? Yeah, I can do that. EMFs aren't as much of a concern for me now as they were when I first got into my health journey. I had mercury amalgam fillings, and basically some people scared the shit out of me after explaining how mercury had been leaching through my body, and I had higher levels of heavy metals than I should have. And essentially it can kind of turn your body into a giant antenna. They deposit in your fat cells, you know, in various places, in your tissues and things like that, not to mention having a bunch of them on both sides of the mouth. So read some information about conductivity and how people who usually suffer from EHS or electrohypersensitivity syndrome or problem, whatever you want to call it, generally struggle more if they've had a heavy metals problem. So one of the issues with having mercury amalgam fillings is the leaching and the deposits, and your body is simply more conductive. So during going through amalgam removal, going to like a semi-biological dentist, I didn't do it the best way, but I did it better than just going to a normal dentist where they just grind them out and then all the vapor, all the vapor and the mercury and aluminum dust basically goes everywhere in your mouth, poisoning both you and the dentist and the hygienist in the room. But long story short, that stuff is pretty toxic. And in those particular amounts, while recovering from that and then continuing to do a deep detox over the next 6 months to 12 months, EMFs were an additional concern, specifically like RF, radio frequency, things that are transmitted, some electric fields, some magnetic fields. I just tried to be really mindful of, my exposure limits. For instance, I don't do this anymore. EMFs don't really bother me at all. It's not a huge deal. The reason that I make it a huge deal with the sauna stuff is that the companies are just flat out lying. So we're spending $5,000 on a piece of health equipment that's supposed to be healing, and they're telling you that it's low EMF. Some of them are low magnetic field and not low electric field, or some are the opposite, low electric field, or somebody will take like an RF meter, like a tri-field 100XE, an analog EMF meter, and put it on the RF setting and take it in the sauna. There's companies that do this. I think one of them is like Vital Health. Right on their homepage, they say that, a cell phone has this much EMF and our sauna has less, even though that's a completely different measurement using a totally different tool. So the biggest complaint that I had was that when I got into saunas, I was going through that. That was kind of like crippling and screwing up my life. So it was really important to me to have no EMF, or at least really low EMF exposure through all of my healing journey equipment, anything that I was doing to detox. And so saunas was one of the things on the list, and it's probably one of the most abused marketing materials on the planet. And I got taken a couple of times and I got pissed off. And so then I made it kind of like my mission to out the people that were not being truthful and the people that were being deceptive. So I made it into this huge deal because it was a huge deal for me at the time. I got really mad. If you spent $5,000 on a piece of health equipment and it came in and it wasn't what they told you, and you had all the tools and the knowledge base and you learned painstakingly how to test for it, you would be pissed off too, especially when they wouldn't take it back and wouldn't give you your money back. So you most likely would start doing reviews with a little more anger than normal. So that's how all this stuff started. I don't think I've ever actually said that. So good question. Thank you very much. Let me see if there's any other ones. I don't know how to do this. That was Scott's. So I guess that didn't really answer your question, Scott. I'm sorry. So why are EMFs such a concern? They're not for everybody. I mean, some people can be surrounded by EMFs and be totally fine. Other people can have a little bit of EMF exposure and they're not fine. So it really just depends on you and your health circumstances, what's important to you or what you value. For some people, it's too much, to even mess with, and the fear of it or lack of understanding or resistance to even learning about it is worse than a little extra EMF exposure. This is kind of like me coming full circle, my viewpoint now after going through all of that stuff and experiencing it all. So I'm much more grounded and level-headed than I was about EMFs maybe a couple of years ago. That said, there's still some really dangerous stuff out there. A lot of people's houses have a 2 to 3 milligauss magnetic field, like in their bedroom. There's a lot of things that can cause that. In some cities, high voltage power lines and stuff like that are way more dangerous than an actual sauna. But here's where the thing comes into play. This is supposed to be a healing device or a, health improvement apparatus. And so if you're being bombarded by excess electric or magnetic fields all day long, the last thing that you want to do is hop in a sauna that is also extending that even more. And some of the saunas aren't that big of a deal. Some of them are DC, some of them are AC. Obviously, any building biologist would be much more concerned with AC, magnetic, and electric exposure than DC. DC is really not that big of a deal. You could also do some 220 stuff so they cancel each other out. But I'm probably getting too deep down the rabbit hole for you now, but hopefully that answers your question and gives more of an overview than you were looking for. No one else has popped in here, so I just kind of kept going on and on with that. If you guys have questions, if you're just popping in, I can't see who you are unless you leave a comment, but I see people coming in and out. It's day 2 of the 30 for 30 sauna challenge. If you have questions, if you have feedback, if you have anything, please throw it in the chat. I can't see you. You can see me. This is weird. Stop making it weird. Put something in the chat. Scott says, you mentioned a video a while back about research coming out. I haven't looked at infrared sauna. Any news on that front? Ooh. how do I answer that? How do I answer that appropriately? I will say two things. The proponents that say you can't initiate that you can't activate heat shock proteins with an infrared sauna, I think are likely going to be wrong. The other part of it that I would really like to tell you, I cannot. There is some specific research going on at some universities. I can't tell you where, I can't tell you what. All I can tell you is that I had a hand in getting them some equipment donated to do the studies and generally check up on them every few months or so to see how far along they are. The problem with talking about it is A, I don't have permission, and B, there are some grant writers who are trying to get additional funding for additional studies. And with the reach of my YouTube channel, if someone else were to see that and these guys were to lose their potential ability to get that grant granted, I would feel really bad. So not really allowed to speak on it, but I can tell you that there are some very, very, very promising results happening in a lab under a clinical study with people who are extremely, extremely passionate about this. And they're getting great results with very, very common, how would we call them, psychological issues that a lot of people have, that people take medication for. And the protocols that they're using are a little intense. But I think when that information actually gets published, I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised. And I'm going to be super happy because then we can actually share it with people and hopefully help a lot more people. But at this time, I can't mention anything else because it puts the whole thing in jeopardy. And I've also promised to not mention anything, even though I would really, really like to, because it's going to be very helpful. But we've got to wait because without the actual published research, it's just a guy saying, you know, these people are doing this, these are their results, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more credibility behind being patient and allowing them to come out with you know, their actual research. So looking forward to that. Thank you for asking the question, though. Very good question. A lot of people are falling into the trap of, you know, I put out tons of videos on this stuff. Sauna has to be 200 degrees or something like that to do any good. This sauna right now is in the 130s. It's been preheating or running for 39 minutes. I've been live for 17 minutes. I think I started 5 minutes early, so I've been in the sauna for what? You guys know better than I do because I can't see all the stuff on the screen. 12 minutes maybe, and I am pretty much good to go at this point. Like, we got a good sweat going. I was totally cold. I did a workout at 6 p.m. Eastern today. I'm sorry, 5 p.m. Eastern today again. Went a little long today. Worked out slow at the end. Was talking to my buddy and you know, kind of lagging, doing some extra exercises. Finished that at 6:30, had dinner at 6:50, took a cold shower, laid on the couch for about 30 minutes, preheated the sauna at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, got ready at 8:55, and this thing is going off like crazy. Did you guys ever have somebody send you like 7 text messages in a row instead of just putting it all in one? Stop doing that to people. They could be doing something like this, like sweating live on a camera in front of God knows how many people by tomorrow. And yeah, stop it. It's not good. So there's a thumbs up. There's people coming in and out. Who are you guys? Do you have questions? I can't see who you are unless you put something in the chat. Please, if you have feedback, I asked for feedback yesterday. Do you guys have feedback on how we can make these 30 for 30 sauna challenge series videos more helpful? Today's talk is kind of on sauna binders, but really I'd rather just answer your questions live. I could, and another text. That's 8 now. Thanks, JP. It's JP, that's 9 now. JP number 2. That's 10. Guys, if you send people, that's 11. If you send people 11 texts, that's 12. If you send people, that's 13. Oh my God, 14. Okay, all right, that's awesome. 15. I wish I could show you guys what's happening right now. Is the phone safe to use in the sauna? Holly asks, is the phone safe to use in the sauna? What do you mean, or Holly? I mean, I'm using one right now. Is it safe? No, it's not ideal. It would be better if it was on airplane mode. Then I wouldn't be getting interrupted and I would be able to talk fluently because people keep messaging me. But then we couldn't do live and I couldn't interact with you guys. So is it worth a little short-term, close-range RF exposure? Sure. Is it going to overheat in 20 minutes? Absolutely. I don't know if that's what you mean. Hi from Seattle. Planning to get... Sorry, Hallie, I don't know exactly what you meant by safe. Like, is it safe for the phone? Is it going to blow up? Because eventually it will. It just gets too hot. Let me try to go back to... World Traveler says, hi from Seattle, planning to get a home, planning to get a sauna for home, but still haven't picked one out yet. Something for 2021. That's awesome. Yeah, I think the more people that get saunas in their house and do this stuff, I mean, the more people that'll be, healthier, happier. There's like all types of antidepressive, circulation improvement, blood pressure improvement, all kinds of benefits to doing this stuff regularly. So it's, there's another comment in here. Let me grab it really quick. Okay, cool, Holly. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. And this is so small on the screen. I'm like, what'd you say? Ron says, sauna binders are a great topic for me. I was told yesterday that dye matches Earth. They go away after about 3 seconds. I don't have very long. I was told that Demetrius. The autocorrect on the phone says that you're taking Demetrius Earth. Kind of like the Transformers movie. Worked for her best. I use bentonite and charcoal as a backup. Yeah, I mean, I think you pronounce it diametraceous, whatever. I have a bag of it downstairs. Yeah, that stuff works. I would really try the bentonite clay that I took at the beginning of this episode. It works really, really good. Ron says, I'm from Seattle. Inu Claw? I'm waiting in... I don't know what Enumclaw is. Is that the city, Ron? Waiting for the Radiant Health Sauna. That's awesome. You're going to love it. I'm in one right now. They're my favorite products of the year. If you guys have more questions, or if I skipped your question on accident, I didn't mean to, they only pop up on the screen for like 3 seconds. So just throw it in there again. Keep asking questions. Keep giving me feedback. I mean, I am full on river sweat right now. We're stepping it up a little bit. This is a little more heat than yesterday. Sauna's at 133 degrees. Time left on the clock is 14 minutes. We've been live for 22 minutes -5, so I've been actively in the sauna sweating for 17 minutes. Tomorrow or the next day, we're going to kick the heat up even more. This is going to get pretty intense. I want you guys to see, like I said when I started, I want you guys to see me tap out. I want you to see what it's like for somebody to get overheated, have shortness of breath, have to open the door, have to take breaks. Usually that never happens in my videos because I'm not cranking on the heat because I'm focused on you guys. I'm focused on talking, focused on sticking to the topics at hand. But this is 30 for 30 sauna challenge. So you guys have to know what to do. You got to learn how to read your own body. And I want to show you what it looks like when you're pushing the limits and you shouldn't be. So we're going to do some, and I might even do some niacin flushing at the end. I think you guys would get a kick out of that. If you've never had niacin before, or no one's ever played a trick on you, like some of my other friends, where you slip somebody like 200 milligrams of niacin and they never had it, and their skin is itching and on fire and they don't know what's wrong with them, they will freak out. Full on panic attack because you think like you're seriously in trouble. So I'll probably show you guys a little bit of that too, even though we won't go over like a full niacin detox protocol. We'll still show you what it looks like and what happens and what to look out for in case you want to try it. So more questions. I am getting hot. I don't know if you guys can see, but I am super sweating. The phone feels really hot, so I'm gonna crack the door. Hopefully let this cool off a little bit so it doesn't overheat. Somebody said something. How do I get that back? Scott says, my local pool and spas business sells Finlayo. Do you have any opinions on that brand? I mean, yeah, it's kind of very similar to what I'm in right now. I think the heaters are even sourced from the same factory or whatever you want to call it. But there are some differences. Like most of the Finlayo saunas don't have frontal infrared because they have a solid glass front. So they're a little less insulative. They're probably a little cooler to like, cooler. Man, I'm getting sweat everywhere because I don't have a phone mount. I wish you guys could, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but there's like, the door is covered just because I grabbed it and almost dropped the phone. So really need the camera mount. The Finlayo stuff, they're probably a little, a little more interesting to sit inside because it's like floor to ceiling glass, but that's also not the best if you're looking for a performance. So really wood is a little better insulator than glass. Most of the saunas that have tons of glass take longer to heat up, and then they dissipate heat a little extra, which is not always desirable. Depends on where you are, what kind of climate you're gonna put it in, what your needs are, what's important to you. The people at the hot tub store, they're really not gonna, I mean, they've usually never used any other sauna brand except for the one that they have in the store. And then most of the time, they don't have like health geared, they don't have a health geared knowledge base. I'll just say it that way. So it's kind of like they look at putting a sauna in your house not as like a piece of detox equipment necessarily because they had a health struggle and that's how they got into it. They look at it as kind of like adding a hot tub, like this is a nice feature or something cool to have in your house type of deal. At least that's been my experience. So I don't know if that answered your question or not. The Finlayos, I haven't used any of the newer ones. Most of the ones that I've seen are exactly like I described. Hopefully you guys can still see okay. I am holding the phone up against the wall, cracking the door, try and let it cool down in here a little bit. I am river sweating like mad, and I don't want the phone to overheat, and I don't want me to overheat, so I can still talk. We're gonna save that for next day or the next day, whenever the mount comes in. Then I'll crank the heat up on this thing. We'll do a little bit more preheat, and you'll see what it looks like to rock and roll. But I've got to have my hands free. Can't do it this way. Any other questions? Any feedback? See if I can pull this back up. What do you guys think? Anybody actively in their sauna as well? There was 2 guys, Josh, who were also doing the 30 for 30 sauna challenge live, which was kind of cool. So I think it'd be neat if a couple people do that. I wouldn't recommend you do it every day, especially if your heat tolerance is not well weathered or well worn, I guess you would say. Is that the catchphrase? Anyway, what do you guys, what's top of mind? Somebody said binders was a good topic. What do you want to know about binders? I took some bentonite before we started. Ron says, I bought the Enterosgel from Russia. The directions are in Russian. What dosage? Thank you for the great information. Cool. Yeah, Ron, I can help you with that. So it depends if you have, some people say that the Enterosgel still gives them trouble, but these are usually people that are either super sensitive, have IBS, have had some type of gut trouble in the past. Pardon me. Or something like that, right? Like there's an existing contraindication. A good dosage to start out with is like a teaspoon or a tablespoon. The thing is, if you're sensitive or you're worried about doing that, just make sure you drink like 10 ounces of water with it, or it's going to be a little nastier, because what I do is just squeeze it out into a teaspoon or a tablespoon, and I just eat it, and then I chase that with a bunch of water. The other way to do it is to squeeze it into your water and then mix it up with a spoon and let it dissolve before you even drink it. It makes it thinner. It's less likely to clog you up, like if you're a person that has that issue. But just make sure you have at least 10 ounces of water. I know the instructions are in Russian. There is an English. I should probably put that somewhere. Actually, I'm building out the little Sauna Courses portal. So saunacourses.com will likely have a binder therapy course. And I'll be able to make like a free section where there can be links to all the downloads. Maybe I'll just grab an English PDF if that would be useful for you guys, and just stick it in there, because I know it's hard. But teaspoon, tablespoon, good dosage to start out with. Just do that either before or after a sauna session. You'd be good to go with just one of those a day. The instructions actually call for a teaspoon or tablespoon 3 times a day, broken up. It depends on what you're doing. I don't like to give blanket advice, because if you have health conditions, or if someone else does and they hear this, that may not be the best protocol for them, or the best timing, or the best dosage. So if you don't have any health issues, you'd be fine to try it 3 times a day. I just wouldn't do it for like weeks on end. Do it for a little bit and then take a break. Or like me, I've done a ton of sauna, a ton of binder therapy, ton of like different sort of oral chelation stuff in the past. So I can pretty much try anything at this point, and it doesn't impact me negatively. So if you're a person that doesn't have any health challenges, that's most likely you too. So not so big of a deal. Not, you don't have to go with caution so much. The reason that I'm so cautious about mentioning it is because a lot of people are super sick, like I was, and doing the wrong thing can kind of screw them up. But for binders, as long as there's not mobilizing agents in it, or you're not adding, like a lot of people say, to take cilantro extract or cilantro oil, things like that, mobilize and they don't bind, that's when people get into trouble. But I think you'd be fine. I don't know why I said all that. I think I just remember that sometimes people are on these streams and they're not asking questions in the chat, but they're listening, and just don't want somebody to end up in a pickle. So it kind of sucks when you do. Let's see. Anything else in the chat? Scott says, do any of the Radiant Health saunas you have and speakers inside, how do you feel about Bluetooth connectivity inside saunas? Yeah, Scott, every Radiant Health sauna, it doesn't matter if it's the one person, the corner sauna, there's speakers there, there's always a set of stereo speakers, so there's a left and a right. Even in the one person, all the way up to the family size, they just don't do any Bluetooth, so they're RF free saunas. They are hardwired only. If you don't like that, you could stick a RCA or mini jacked to Bluetooth converter in the ceiling and just connect your phone to it and play music that way. But as it stands, you just pop open the marine radio that's in the roof. If you wanted to use that, turn that on, and then use, I got to do that video too. A lot of people have asked for that. The video that shows how to run the cable through the roof and then route it to a little, I don't know if you guys can see this. Like I have a little side table next to my sauna, and I just set the phone there along with any supplements that I take or things like that. I'll put all my extra towels, like Josh mentioned yesterday. The laundry of doing the 30 for 30 challenge is ridiculous. Let's see, I got 5 minutes left on the clock inside the sauna. We've been live for 31 minutes, minus 5, so about 27 minutes. We got 3 or 4 minutes left for my 30 for 30 goal. I don't have to be in the sauna for 30 minutes every day, but that's the initial goal until it wears me down. Then I'll probably either take a break, do less time, lower the temperature, but we're going to get cranking the first week. Any other questions? We've got about 5 minutes left, guys, before I sign off. Any other feedback? How can we make these more useful for tomorrow? It's going to be 8 or 9 p.m. tomorrow night Eastern. Ron says, how long would you take bentonite before taking a break? I'm on major detox for heavy metals, candida overgrowth, just like our hemisphere, so an extreme case here. Yeah, usually you have a candida flare-up because you've had heavy metals. I mean, I don't know where you're at with this or how educated you are. I don't want to beat a dead horse and talk to you like you don't already know everything you need to, because that's no fun either. But if you haven't looked up Dr. Klinghart's stuff, that would be a good place to start and learn how, if you don't know, sorry if you do, how heavy metals impact the gut and why candida overgrowth usually surges when you have an issue of heavy metals leaching for an extended period of time, because it imbalances the gut bacteria and they can't keep it under control. So the candida grows like mad. The other part of your, I don't know why I say stuff like that sometimes when people ask questions, it just kind of comes to mind, and that's where I was at when I was in your position. How long would I take bentonite before taking a break? That's a hard question to answer, especially if you're doing a stout heavy metal detox protocol. If you're doing something that's immobilizing, I wouldn't stop at all. If you're taking any type of chelation oral supplement like alpha lipoic acid that crosses the blood-brain barrier, if you're taking or getting DMPS injections, have you had a live blood cell analysis and dry blood cell analysis? Edwin says, yeah, I think so. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, I had every test known to man: saliva, adrenal, hormone, blood, live, everything, man. The hair mineral stuff, the skin stuff, the allergy stuff, you name it. I've pretty much had it. But have I had it recently? No, because a lot of that stuff I don't want to do anymore. Like the hair mineral analysis is kind of a crock of shit, just because people can have a body burden of metals and have it not show up in the hair, so it doesn't really mean anything. And then the other thing that they do is do chelation challenge tests, where they, give you a DMSA or a DMPS injection, see how much toxins are in your urine the next day or within a 12 to 24 hour period. But for some people who are like super, super toxic and their organs are in failure, they end up all screwed up because it's the dumbest shit that you could do. Recommend recommend bentonite before taking a break. I just want to make sure that I didn't skip that. Sorry guys, this is so hard. It's so small. Ron, if you're still doing heavy metal detox, I would not stop taking binders. So whenever you take a break from the mobilizing agents, wait a day or two, and then you can take a break from the binders. The two things that you want to be careful of are never to do a heavy metal detox protocol, especially if your detox pathways are compromised, and you don't have any assistance if you have leaky gut, because then you'll just have recirculation of toxins and you'll never get rid of the stuff. So it's very important to do that. Edwin says, do you monitor your urine pH? Look at Dr. Robert Young pH Miracle books and videos. Cool, I'll check it out. Do I monitor it? No. I've had somebody try to get me to do that urine therapy where you drink your piss, but I'm not in bad shape anymore, so I'm not exactly motivated to do that. But I'll take a look at the urine pH. It's something I don't know about, I'm not educated on it, so I don't really know how to answer your question. The functional medicine doctors that I've gone to were definitely measuring a lot of that stuff. Some of it turned out to be bullshit and a waste of time, waste of money, like $400 a visit. And other stuff was extremely worthwhile. Ron says, right on, enemas and colonics have been a saving grace. Yeah, I went to a colonic place one time and it didn't go so well. I've tried enemas too. Yeah, Scott says, in your experience, do saunas go on sale for Black Friday? Yeah, usually. Scott, one of the biggest scams in the industry is that there's always a sauna sale. Like, every 2 months, there's a new sauna sale. So when they try to put that pressure on you and say, hey, get the sauna now before the prices go up and the sale ends, there's going to be another sale in like 2 months. It's totally ridiculous. One of the most corrupt industries on the planet. I can't stand it. But because this is a Corona year and all distribution and shipping and everything else, I'm not a sauna company owner. I don't actively sell saunas anymore. I used to. Back in 2018, I was doing phone sales for one sauna company. But because everything has been out of stock, I have a sneaky suspicion that the discounted Black Friday sale may not be what we were expecting, because there was a shortage of inventory. So the sauna companies are less likely to discount the products if they don't have a surplus of them to sell. So I think the demand is greater than the supply at this point, and they're probably going to take full advantage of it. Kind of sucks, but just a heads up, that's what I'm expecting. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that will change between now and the end of the month if they get shipments. Edwin said, no, just check your urine pH. Stay away from drinking it. Looking for urine pH to be alkaline above 8.4. Oh, okay. I follow you now, Edwin. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Definitely will do. David says, can you detox candida with sauna sessions? I don't know how to answer that, David. I don't think anybody that is highly educated on that would. I don't know how to answer. I don't know how to respond to that. Can you detox candida with a sauna? No. But if you have candida as a result of some type of toxin issue in the gut, by using a sauna and getting rid of that stuff and helping your gut fix itself, will that get rid of candida? It most certainly can reduce it. Is it probably going to be all you need? Most likely not. Scott says, should I be prepared to negotiate price no matter who I buy a sauna from? Not really. If you call Radiant Health in Canada, there's a reason why they're #1 on the certified sauna list. There's no bullshit. They will honor the discount code. They'll give you $500 off the retail price, and they're super nice, and they won't hound the shit out of you after you get your contact information in their CRM. They won't follow up with you. It's not like buying a used car. If you call Sunlighten, they're going to hound the ever-living F out of you until you buy something. That's one of the reasons why they're the top ranked thing, because they're so good customer service wise. Ron says, but yeah, anywhere else, yeah, you should be prepared to haggle, and you should play them against each other. I mean, you can get a Radiant Health sauna for the same price as a Clearlight Premier, and they're basically a spitting image of each other, but you can get the Radiant Health sauna cheaper. It's the exact same thing. Like, you know, both of them are going to do exactly what you need. So that's my only beef with the sauna companies lately, is they've been raising prices and all that stuff. Ron says, check out Candida Crusher. Well, Crusher Eric Baker. He's all over YouTube. Great information. Cool. Thanks, Ron. I'll check it out. I haven't heard of him before. I'm not sure if that was for me or for other people. Let's see, 39 minutes now. So I've definitely done 34 minutes in the sauna. Edwin says I bought the sauna course, well worth the $10, highly recommended. Thank you very much, Edwin. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start switching saunas too. I'm going to do 3 to 5 days of sessions in this exact same sauna, so you guys can see what it's like when I start cranking up the heat, improving the or increasing the preheat times, and doing a couple other things to make it difficult to stay in here for the 30 minutes. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hop into a couple other saunas. There's plenty of saunas in this place for me to use, but I think I'm going to do a High Tech Health one day so you guys can see what I just have to put it back together. It's not assembled all the way right now. And then I'm gonna start bouncing around. I'll hop into DIY. Let's see, what are we saying here? What's your opinion on the where are we at? David says, what's your opinion on the Evolve 30 EHS Sunstream? I hate giving my opinion on Sunstream. I used to sell them, don't like talking about them. I just have an ethical disconnect with the company. The EHS didn't exist until I stopped promoting those saunas. The only reason they improved the EMF is because I dropped them. So, no opinion. I haven't really looked at one. Don't really want to, David. Just not my cup of tea. I've dealt with them a lot. Like I say, used to sell their products directly. Don't anymore. There's just too many other good options, and they've raised the prices significantly. I mean, they used to be way, way, way cheaper than a Clearlight. You could get like an Evolve 10 one-person sauna for $27.95. You could get an an Evolve 15 for like $31.95, $32.95 two-person. So it's just everything has changed. It's just not my deal. Probably a good product. If it's a good fit for you, buy it. Don't just ignore something because I don't like it. I just have an ethical disconnect with the owners and that whole deal from my experiences. Ron says I canceled mine. What is this saying? Ron says I canceled mine after I purchased it. Looked at the EMF testing and shady sales. I thought to myself, I saved $4K on Radiant. Ron, I'm not sure what you're talking about. You canceled your what? Canceled mine after you purchased it. I'm not following. Sun Cedar? I don't know what that is, bud. I don't know. I don't know what a Sun Cedar is. Sorry, just joined in. My friend recommended Clearlight. Do you recommend them? Yes. Nene, check the certified sauna list, certifiedsaunas.com. You can see all my reviews, what I recommend. Let's see. On our way out of the sauna tonight, could you throw the cable that runs? Sure. Yeah, I can. I'll make a separate video because it's not on the right side and it's not even hooked up. Yowzers, too many comments. Scott, I'll make a separate video on the audio. Ronnie talking about Sunstream. Ron says Sunsetter Evolve. I think the autocorrect on the phone is really screwing this up. Do you ever do the Wim Hof method? Yeah, I've done it before, but I haven't done it enough. I should. I love that guy. He's awesome. What's been the most important benefit to your health since you've started regularly? Adam asks, I think you're talking about sauna sessions. Most important benefit? Oh man, there's too many to list, but really just better skin, more energy, better sleep. This is just me personally. I'm not a doctor. I can't make health recommendations. This is just my opinion on my own usage. Can't make any promises. No guarantee that you'll achieve the same outcomes, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the drill. Less brain fog, better thinking. Just everything. I even think blood pressure improves. Not that I had terrible blood pressure before, but I just, when I was going to the functional medicine doctor all the time, I noticed a difference. And I'm also exercising and doing other things. So is it just the sauna? No. But does it have a huge contribution to that? Yeah. David says, Sunstream Evolve. Ron says, yes, thank you. I can't follow that anymore, guys. Don't know what you're talking about. Dean says, do you still use binders for detox? Which ones? Yeah, Dean, when I started this, I took some bentonite clay. If you go to Matt Justice page on Amazon, the influencer page, it has a list of all the ones that I currently use. My favorites are the bentonite clay capsules, not the powder, Enterosgel, and a couple other things. I want to go, but I think you guys are having good discourse back and forth, and I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, Dean. You asked about the binders. If you go on YouTube and search Sauna Detox Binders Matt Justice, there's 2 videos that'll pop up that discuss exactly what they are and where to buy them, like the links to the names. Because like Enterosgel, no one knows how to spell that. I say that, it's in Russian. They're like, what the hell is this? Is some scam product? So, but you can check out those videos. They'll help you out. David says, what shady sales are on? What are you guys talking about, man? Dr. Schachter? That's a funny name. Dude, I'm obsessed with saunas. My knees aren't the greatest after I sit in the sauna for 15 minutes, but feel like $1 million. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Dr. Schachter. And I like the name too. Edwin says, have you tried Pure Body Spray by Touchstone Essentials? It's a special zeolite. No, I haven't. I have some zeolites downstairs, but there was this big push maybe a year or 2 ago where a lot of people were saying that the bentonite solutions were tainted and all this stuff, and they had like high levels of, I can't even remember what it was. And ever since then, I just haven't used it that much, but I don't know if that's a valid thing. I just have great success with back to the basics, saunas and binders. Sometimes I'll do some chelation, sometimes I'll do some niacin, sometimes I'll do some other mobilizing agents, but as a general rule, man. David says, I have an Evolve 30 on order. Hopefully I won't regret my choice. No, it's a good sauna. I've had 2 Sunstream Evolves before, Evolve 10, Evolve 15. These are pre-EHS models. They get hot. There's a heater on the front of the door, and it's definitely smoking hot. The basswood, the Sunstream basswood is probably the strongest smelling basswood in the entire industry. And it never, I mean, I didn't think it was that big of a deal before when I had them. But man, you go into other saunas, it's a little more mild. I kind of prefer that, but that should be no reason to dissuade you from purchasing one of those. But for the price, I mean, I think, well, whatever. If you got one on order, enjoy it, man. I'm sure it'll treat you well. Tracy says, thank you for all your work with saunas. So helpful as we were looking to purchase one. Cool. Thank you, Tracy. I'm glad it helps. Sometimes I get to rambling, and I know it causes more confusion than condenses things, but I put in a lot of effort. I know that. Let's see, 47 minutes. I got no time on the clock. I've added time. I think you guys are done with the back and forth discourse. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I hate to. I wish there was this many people and this much interaction when I start, so I don't have to think about what you guys might want to hear. So if you're watching this on replay, and there's something that you want to talk about in tomorrow night's day 3 of the 30 for 30 sauna challenge, I'll be live at 9 p.m. Eastern. But if you go ahead and drop your idea in the comments right now, I can start the live stream tomorrow with that in mind and have everything ready. If you guys have questions about specific binders, I can bring them in the sauna and talk to you about them. If you want to know about warm-up protocols like using the rebounder, the vibration plate, a lot of people have asked about that. I haven't done it yet. We can do that. Joan says thank you. A lot of people say thank you. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. I'll see these as they scroll through on the replay. I can't catch them all right now, but thank you so much for commenting. It makes a huge difference instead of me just sitting in here talking to the screen. But if there's anything you guys would like to request for tomorrow's live stream, please let me know in the comments, and have a great evening. Thank you for attending. We'll see you tomorrow.